Anastasia, and I have been working for the last 3 years on the film just called Human, directed by the French photographer and director Yann-Arthus Bertrand, for which we have traveled all around the world to more than 60 countries, making more than 2,000 interviews of people about actually what makes us human and what are the things we share on this earth and what are the things that tear us apart. And my role was I was the first assistant director, so I coordinated the whole editorial team, all the journalists that worked for us, and I did almost 700 interviews myself. The idea of Human was to try to make us reflect on what actually is being a human, but not in a general way, but in a very personal way. This is why we decided to go and see people and to ask them very personal questions, simple questions, but at the same time with which are very symbolic of our life, like what is the strongest memory you have from your childhood, what is happiness to you, what is the hardest moments of your life, what is the sense, the meaning of your life.
How did you choose who you were going to interview? What were the criteria?
The whole idea of Human was to avoid this kind of casting thing that you generally find in films and in documentaries, etc. Because the whole idea behind it was that everybody's story is interesting. Everybody has a story to share. You just have to go there and to find what the story is. And that was the aim behind Human. But obviously, when you watch Human, you see that we also chose people who generally are never heard, who have never been given a voice, and who may be called invisible people. And we wanted to show these people, to give them a possibility to talk and to see what their message would be. And it was incredible because it's mostly from these people that we got the strongest stories, the strongest messages.
Was it difficult for you and Jan to select only 3 hours of footage out of all the material you gathered?
First version was 9 hours, and we thought that it was great already. We had all the best interviews we wanted to put in the film, so cool. But then, yes, we also realized that it wasn't possible and that we had to shorten the film. And it was difficult because obviously you create a connection to all these people, and obviously for you it becomes kind of your family in a way. So each time you have to cut, it's, you know, for one journalist or another, or the Jan, or it's like, no, not him. And so it took quite a while. But then little by little, we also understood that sometimes people were telling similar stories in a different way, but similar stories, and which were each time strong. But at the same time, we thought, okay, we have to choose. So we choose one story, and then this person will also speak for the others.
You're here to share your experience within the context of Invisible Cities, a project where we want to create a platform where we unite stories from people who deal with exclusion in the city life. How do these two projects relate in some way?
I think that Human and Invisible Cities, yes, have a real link and have a real connection, and this is why I'm really happy to participate in this masterclass and to meet all the students, because I think that the main idea behind both projects is to give a voice to people who are not heard, is to make them visible. And also is to show that everybody has a story, and sometimes the story of the person is not where you expect it to be.
Do you think it's important for people to share their stories for the very first time? What impact do you think it has on their own lives?
I think it's important, first of all, to make them understand that it's kind of really the first thing to do, that it's really important that they share their story. First thing is already to make them believe that, because most of these people will tell you, why do you want to interview me? Why me? What do I have to share? And then after thousands of interviews in human, I can tell you that our experience was that most of the people after the interview, sometimes when they have shared very personal stuff, very difficult stuff, and sometimes they have shared it for the first time in their life. When I was wondering, like, okay, how are you and what would you do? Are you sure you would like us to keep it? We're saying thank you. Actually, I don't know if you will keep it in the film. I don't know if I will be in human. Actually, it's of no importance. I feel better now.
The final question is it's one of your own classics. If you had a magic wand and you could change one thing in your life, what would it be?
Well, I think I would bring my father back.
Okay, thank you for the interview.
Thank you.